Hello, and welcome to the Knit Girls. I'm Laura, also known as Lala, and this is episode 374.
She also is a carrier of the plague.
Yes! I always wanted to be a plague carrying rat.
I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. It's Thursday, December the 7th.
Because I am the carrier of the plague.
Yes, because she was sick, then I was busy, then it was knit night, and now we've got an hour to get this done. And then we've both got other obligations tonight. So we're going to go right into this.
So I got sick Monday night, and then Tuesday I even missed work. That's how sick I was because I was vomiting. You're welcome. And so we didn't record, and then Wednesday was knit night, and then I went on a field trip with my kids today, and they vomited. So yay! It's
awesome.
been fun.
I missed that story.
I
sad.
didn't tell you that part. That and racism has been my day today.
Oh, yay.
So, fun discussions all around at work.
So, what about knitting? Because this is actually a knitting show.
No, it's not. Stop teasing with people. Liar. So I am knitting some turtle pearl socks in the Aim to Misbehave colorway. I feel like that's a Mae West quote.
I'm pretty sure that's a Firefly quote.
It might be both.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
I mean, I know Mae West was before Firefly, but...
Was she?
And Mae West is a real person.
And I know it's a Firefly quote, though, too.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a Mae West quote. I'm going with the Mae... I don't know. Does this scream Firefly to you? Because that does not scream Firefly to me.
Not, like, traditionally,
Not like
no.
in an ooh shiny kind of way?
No, but it still could be.
I haven't watched Fire... You know what we need to watch? We need to watch Psych. Because they're making a Psych movie. They are. Wheezy's recording it for me. I think it's out tonight. I love Psych with the pineapples. And they took it off Netflix. I looked yesterday. Aww. It made me sad. And then we also should rewatch Firefly.
I'm always up for a Firefly. And I'm off the same week that you are.
Yes.
But I have to dedicate at least 2 of those days to organizing and cleaning my house.
I'll just sit here and watch you organize and clean your house. How about that?
There we go.
Because I'm not organizing and cleaning my house. That ship has sailed. So this is Aim to Misbehave by Turtle Pearl Yarns. I'm knitting it on size 0, Haya interchangeables. It's my nice little red cord. They're like the extra small interchangeables. They have a long needle length on them, actually, which I appreciate. Because a lot of times I knit with 16-inch needles on my socks.
And they have a shorter...
And they have a shorter stem. But these, because they twist, they're interchangeables, they have an even longer. This would be a great Christmas present. I think they're like $40, and you get ones, zeros, double zeros, triple zeros? Something like that. I think it goes from 2 down to triple zeros, maybe. And really, I need to go down to the double zeros, but I'm refusing. I did buy another pair of double zeros, so now I have 2 pairs, because I think it's going to happen pretty shortly. And it's in my pigeon bag by Fat Squirrel Fibers. Also, I was on a school bus with children who sang for an hour each way. Well, an hour total, half an hour each way. So we had that joy.
Oh,
today.
They went to see Wonder, right?
No, that was last week. I am the field trip queen, y'all. I got to go see Wonder last Friday, so I got some knitting. That's where I started these, was on the field trip. And then today I went on a field trip to Youth and Government, where they presented bills.
Oh, okay.
And it's really, really interesting for me because I know what my political beliefs are, but they don't know it, well, for today, but they don't know what their political beliefs are.
Yeah,
and well, obviously, and the things that they think are really, really important fascinate me. And there's always a trend. Like a couple of years ago, there was a big trend for gay rights. Mm-hmm. And then there was a trend for making sure that people were using like welfare money responsibly, which was an interesting one. And came more from one side of the county than the other side of the county.
No doubt.
And then this year there was a trend for one-on-one devices in schools. But there was also a trend for, one of our kids had, 2 of them. One was a trend for like stronger privacy laws with apps selling data that they collect about you as you use their apps, like Snapchat.
Right.
Interesting. Really interesting coming from children.
Yeah.
And then the second thing that was really interesting to me that made it all the way was there was a bill that to raise the bond limits on people who were accused of rape or murder so that they couldn't be out.
Oh, you mean like parole, like
bond, like what they, you go to
on
jail,
bail.
yeah, like bail.
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, you pay a bond.
Yeah.
To raise that from, I think in Mississippi right now it's like 900,000 up to 10 million. So like the odds of you getting out,
because you have to pay like 10% or something.
I have no idea. Yeah. I don't know how that works, but
you've never bailed anybody out of jail.
I haven't. But my children knew how it worked, so. That was an interesting conversation with them. Anyway, so it's interesting to see what, and there was a lot of secondhand smoke ones as well. Like, children should not be in vehicles when parents are, that should be an enforceable fine. And then raising the cigarette age to 21.
I don't know how I feel about the secondhand smoke. I mean, obviously I'm not a smoker, and I'm not, a fan of people being exposed to secondhand smoke. But I don't know. I worry about that crossing a line.
Exactly. So it's interesting to see. It's always interesting to see where their focus is and what they know about and what they don't know about. Is really, really fascinating to me. So it's a fun field trip. I've gone for 4 years now. I've enjoyed it every year. And it's with one of my coworkers who is hilarious, so I always have a good time with him.
This is the guy I met at McAllister.
Yes, they're doing McAllister's tonight, and I told him we couldn't go.
Yeah, I wish I could.
I know.
McAllister sounds good.
It's the hot chili and the bread bowls. Oh my god, they have a vegetarian chili at McAllister's, which is a restaurant in the United States.
Yeah, like a deli.
Yeah.
A chain.
Another thing that I'm knitting are some fingerless mitts. This is the socks versus fingerless glove pattern, and these I'm going to knit out of some opal minis.
They're not socks.
They're not.
But the pattern has the word
gloves.
Socks in it, so I was very confused.
Also, they're the same stitch count as what I knit socks on, and I'm using zeros, so really I could just turn them into socks right now. I could just keep going and
put in a heel later.
And that was a thought that I had. But I did the cuffs out of some random yarn that was in my stash, like leftover bits and bobs. And then this was my first opal mini. And that's the only one I've knit so far. I was going to do like another blue one.
Is that all of it?
Yeah, that's a whole opal mini.
You get a lot for that.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's why Jessica's like, oh, I totally knit
one a day. It's like a quarter of a sock. What?
It's 75 yards. Roundabout. So yeah, you get a good bang for your buck, especially if you're knitting it on size zeros. Which seems to last forever.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. So our friend Jessica is a very fast knitter. And she knits out a mini, like, every day for Advent.
I don't know how. I think she's a robot, personally.
Well, she knits, like, cowls on size 3 needles. So it goes a little bit faster.
That's true. So are you going to knit another sleeve like this and then split a third between the two tops?
Ooh. What I was going to do is just, like, do one that's blue and then one that's green and just have mismatchy gloves. Like, have another opal here. But I could, because it's pretty far up. Right. But I could just split a mini.
And have them kind of match?
Yeah.
But
kind of.
It's also fine if they don't match.
But I also don't have enough blue to do the top, so I would have to pick another solid color for the top. Which, I mean...
No big deal.
I've got some mini skeins in my life, y'all.
Yeah.
It's not like they're going... It's not like they're... But most of them are patterned like this, like the opals, because I've done the opal kit now, Advent calendar twice. I got mine from House of Yarn. It was around $110, maybe.
So if you get 75 yards and you get it for 24 days, okay, we're gonna pull up a calculator because that's just not gonna happen.
Okay.
So 75 yards
times 24.
And let's divide that by roughly 400 yards. So that's
almost 5 skeins.
Almost 5 skeins, full skeins of yarn. Plus you get a full skein on Christmas, right?
No, that's another Advent calendar.
Oh, so you don't get anything on Christmas. Okay.
I get nothing. I lose, sir. Good day, sir. I haven't watched that movie. We need to watch that movie.
$150 divided by...
No, it was like $100.
Oh, okay.
I got that and a magazine, a Ply magazine for like $120, I think.
4.5. So it's roughly
Yeah,
$22 a skein.
Yeah, but they're in mini skeins in
Yeah.
a cute little container that looks like a book, and it makes me super happy.
Yeah, it's a much smaller container this year than it was last year.
Oh gosh, it was like a footstool last year. So those are being knit on my, I almost said signatures, and those are not signatures. Those are Addie sock rockets. And size zeros. And then the last thing that I have on the needles is another pair of fingerless gloves. These are interestingly constructed. So this is the new Martina Bem pattern. It is tough and toasty. I don't know how toasty these are. If we're gonna, I mean, they might look tough, but I'm not certain toasty is a word that I would use.
Yeah.
So this is out of scraps of handspun. I actually have a hat that I made out of this handspun. It's a Lee Meredith pattern, so I'm just gonna keep these ones. I was gonna use them as a Christmas present, but I don't think it's gonna work.
I wonder if you could go back with like, and sort of do an after the fact thrum.
I was gonna pick up here. Like, I was gonna pick up maybe, because I like my fingerless gloves
a little higher,
a
like
little
first
bit.
knuckle.
Yeah, like first knuckle. And I don't mind the wrist, because a lot of times, you know, I'm still, there's like not a huge gap there.
Right.
Like, they meet, if I am not up, you know, my sweaters typically meet at that point, which I shove them up like this 99% of the time, so it doesn't
So these
matter.
are much more a fashion thing than a warmth thing right now.
Yes, I feel like they are. And so what I might do is there's a definitive line of stitches right across the top, and plus it's a little bit loose.
Yeah.
I did the medium size, and I actually added some length here and decreased it down a little bit here, so there is some added length here as well. Martina Bem is a very petite,
teeny tiny little thing.
woman from what I've read and seen. So what fits her body isn't necessarily the best fit for me usually. I think the thumb's fine.
I feel like
it's got a little bit of a...
that's the layer you wear over real mittens.
Yeah.
For fashion.
Yeah, maybe. Or like...
I mean, they're really cool
when I'm at
construction.
work, yeah. They are very cool construction. They have like one purl every row at this top part to make that edge. But that's the only purling in the whole entire thing. Let me show you what they look like now. I had to rip them out last night because it was knit night. And some people read directions during knit night and other people do not. And they think they remember what the pattern was. And then, so I had this one done, and then I was like, this section was getting longer. It was like that length, and I was like, I was decreasing one stitch per row, and it was supposed to be 2.
Oh.
So I have to go back and finish it. But yeah, so the side that you're forming as you work back and forth actually becomes the top part of the mitts. And then you decrease this down.
So you're almost done.
Oh, I'm almost done. Yeah, they take no time at all, which is nice. So if you're looking for a last minute gift idea, it is nice. And I do have this much left, so I definitely have enough yarn that I could pick up.
It's the never-ending scrap yarn of...
Yeah, well, it's the never-ending handspun, which is not something I'm going to complain about,
Right.
to be honest with you. I am knitting these on size 3 needles. She says 3 to 4. I'm also curious if I play with gauge a little bit and go down.
That might work, yeah.
I would have to... The only problem is this part is made by increasing a stitch every row.
On the edge.
On this edge. And because it's on that bias. And I worry that you would get too many stitches if you went up super far.
Yeah, you have to adjust the increase count too, probably.
So maybe increasing every other row versus every row. And this one used like an E-wrap cast on, and I don't like how loose that is.
Yeah,
so
I'm not
on
a big
this
fan of that
one, it's just because it was in between the stitch. It was in between the needles, on a magic loop. So the increases were happening like the last stitch and the first stitch of the needles.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you're crossing your streams too. So on this one, it biased a little bit differently. I did knit in front and back because I'm lazy. So yeah, and it's right at the thumb. Like,
if it's
I
a
ripped
garter,
it back.
then knit front and back is never going to be seen anyway.
Well, it's in stockinette, but
Oh, you're talking about there. Okay.
yeah, it's. I mean, I think it looks better than. Let's compare increases, shall we?
What time do you have to be at basketball?
Shut up. Soon. So these increases versus those increases, I don't think you can really tell the difference a whole lot. Oh, this is the one I need to flip.
I was going to say, I can't even see that one, but...
Yeah. So, but there's more of a...
Yeah, it's looser on the E-cast on.
Yeah, than this one. Anyway. And that's part of the E-cast on, is you're adding extra fabric, whereas with knit front and back, you're working with an existing stitch.
Right.
Anyway. So those are almost done. It's interesting, and it's a really interesting construction, and I want to play with it more. And it's perfect for using up little scraps of hand spun. Maybe I'll give, not these ones, but maybe I'll do another pair, and I will give them to my barista, who is very kind to me at Starbucks.
That might be nice.
Because I could see that being a little bit more practical there when you're working the drive-thru.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have soccer next Monday, outdoors.
Ugh.
Duty. Like, it's legit duty, so I have to be there at 4:30 till 7:30.
Wow.
I might bring, like, I need to find a battery-operated heating something.
You need to go to Walgreens and get those hot hands things.
I think I'm going to get those for sure. This is not living in a bag because it's been living on the couch.
Yeah.
And Pearl's been snuggling with it at night. All right, that's all I got. Just this, and this was also living on the couch.
You talked about your knitted stuff for 16 minutes.
Because I'm amazing, and I'm knitting lots of things.
I just feel like if you're late, it's totally your fault. Sorry.
It is what it is. I mean,
okay.
It's just basketball scoring. It'll be fine. Someone else will. So I gave up keeping score for basketball this year.
Yeah.
Because I had a really bad experience with one coach last year. And also, I was going to Orlando, so I'd missed some games there. And then I was going to St. Louis, and I missed a couple games there, so I didn't feel like it was fair. Not that I'm, like, making money or anything, because I'm not. But I love seeing the kids play, and, like, they're awesome. And so, like, I feel bad because I haven't been going, but the person who keeps scores, grandfather died, so she can't do it tonight. So they called me this morning on the field trip and asked if I could do that, and I said I could probably do 8th grade, which doesn't start till like 6:30. So I'm fine. You've got your conference call though.
Yeah. So for knitted items, I have a couple of things. I totally did not even bring up my shrug now that I'm looking around at stuff.
Oh no.
That's okay.
Is it not in that kitten bag?
No, it's in
Leslie knit on her
tote.
shrug. I saw her.
A lot,
She brought
actually.
it to knit nights.
But it still just looks like a big blob right now.
It's about the same as where it was before,
Yeah.
looking at it.
Hopefully
like you would know.
next week, assuming on-call isn't terrible, I'll have separated sleeves.
You're so funny.
Yeah, I know.
It's the holidays. Why would anything go smoothly?
Well, theoretically, it should be better because people aren't making changes to systems on the holidays. Because when a lot of companies during the holidays, that's when they'll make changes because people aren't in the office. While I work at a casino,
And people are in the office
24 hours a day. Like,
Yeah.
casinos don't close. At least ours don't.
And wasn't one of the most popular days for gambling, like the night before Thanksgiving or something?
Well,
or is that drinking?
Our busiest day by far is always New Year's Eve.
Okay.
But the holidays are always busy for us.
Oh,
because while you love your family, you also kind of want to kill them sometimes. And so people,
And drinking for free and
Yeah.
spending money gambling is a good way to go.
Yeah, in Mississippi.
Apparently.
you-
Well,
you
in
get-
general.
At our casinos anyway, there's free drinks. So
Is it not at every casino?
no, it is not.
Oh. See, I'm so used to Mississippi casinos. I don't know these other casinos.
Like there are, in a lot of places, it's only if you've maintained a certain gambling amount. Like there are different colored lights on the machine so the servers can tell whether or not you've hit that value.
Wow. See, I'm learning things. You can tell how often I go to the casinos.
Yeah.
I've been once. And played penny slots for like $5 worth, and then I was like, done. Now, if the chicken had been there, I totally would have. There was a
Tic-tac-toe.
where you played tic-tac-toe against the chicken. I totally would have done that.
Yeah. I missed that too. I only heard about it, so.
Oh, early 2000s. Where were you in my life then?
So I am working on a pair of, these were for November, our sort of unofficial self-striping thing that we were doing. By the way, there is a thread open on our group for you to nominate dyers. It's not going to be a very formal process. This is just more of a, hey, I like this dyer. Maybe you should buy some stuff from her.
Yeah, like there have been some dyers there that I did not know.
Yeah.
I've been
I've
sending
added to
Leslie
Etsy
links.
favorites.
Yeah.
But so this is the November one. This is Simply Sock Yarn Post Self-Striping in the Holiday Florida colorway. This is sock number 1. Last week I had just finished the gusset. I am now working on the gusset for sock number 2, the dreaded gusset. So, you know, there's nothing exciting about this. It's a 72 stitch sock. I did about 2 inches of ribbing. I did a simple slip stitch heel flap. And that is as fancy as I get with self-striping socks.
You are very fancy. You
sock,
also keep hitting me with that sock blocker.
that's totally accidental. Sorry.
I'm gonna lose an eye, and then I definitely won't be able to do basketball.
So these are for me because the yarn is a Cordell, so it's not quite as buttery soft as merino, and that does not bother me at all. So I wouldn't want to give it to someone else, but mainly because
I think it's
kind of selfish sometimes.
Well, yeah, I think that's a good call too.
And then I worked on my Shisui shrug, but I don't have it up here to show you, and I'm sort of on a time deadline right now, so I can't go and get it. But I did swatch for...
what is that?
So I wanted to knit a sweater.
Oh, I like that.
But I wanted to knit it in a heavier weight, and I wanted it to have short sleeves, because I'm a big girl, and I get really hot if I wear a lot of heavy layers.
You're hot all the time.
I really am. So many days of agonizing over choices, and finally I decided I was going to knit this. This is the Cypress Tunic.
What yarn are you using?
By Jared Flood. Be patient, and I will
I'm
tell
not
you.
patient. I've used all my patience at school today.
This I got from Eat Sleep Knits Black Friday sale. It's Queensland's Kathmandu Erin.
I like that. I like how it's got
like
a
a
black
tweedy effect. Yeah,
it's got like a black undertone to it.
It's wool,
it's soft,
and I think it's got a little bit of silk in it. But
oh, that'll have nice drape too. Well, wait, it's an Aran weight.
Yeah, it's an Aran weight, and I didn't get
what
gauge.
Does that call for? Query?
This calls for worsted, essentially. The shelter.
Yeah.
And it calls for 18 stitches to 4 inches, and I'm only getting 15, so I got to do some math, and then I'm going to send my math to Amy Beth and make sure that it's actually correct math.
I love Amy Beth.
Because
you don't want to go down.
No. I'm telling you, I get hot easy. I want it a lighter sweater. I don't want it very dense. The only problem with this sweater is reading through the pattern, the sleeves and the V-neck start at the same time.
Oh.
So on bigger girls, it ends up being like woof V.
Yeah.
Because the bust goes out so much. So I just have to make some modifications to when the V-neck starts.
Yeah.
I'll have to do it like a couple
inches
you're
going to wear
after.
something below it.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I will, too. But still, it just doesn't look as good. Like, the proportions are off. So...
The girls need some covering, too.
A little bit, you know? Free love and all that, but...
At least you're going to wear something underneath it, though.
Yeah, for sure. I do a lot of short sleeve shirts over plain long sleeve shirts in the winter. Just because I really don't wear sweaters that much. I'm wearing a sweater now because it's effing freezing up here.
It is cold up here.
Because
I'm wearing a sweater because it's 40 degrees outside and I'm not cray-cray.
Yeah.
I mean, I am, but it's not that way.
So I've got to do some math, and then I have to have Amy Beth make sure that it's accurate.
Amy Beth's the best.
She really is.
Hey, Joanna Spring put up
a video.
Vlog.
Yes.
Yeah, so she's doing that Christmas vlog thing that people at Christmas do. I don't know
what that is.
I don't know.
I don't care. It's an excuse to see Joanna Spring.
So she's doing it. So she's up. She did like a 20-minute episode, and a lot of it is her carding wool and dancing and singing, and it just makes me happy. And the animals. It is fabulous. So if you have not checked out,
if you like
Farm,
Joanna Spring,
yeah. If you like awesomeness, you should check out Joanna Spring, because she is one of the sweetest people, and she lives in this really cool house and has all these cool animals. So I enjoy her immensely.
I
also watched her when I had like 101 degree fever. So I probably need to rewatch
So maybe
it.
some of the things that she said happened didn't actually happen.
I'm pretty sure some of it did.
Oh, but she had the best idea. So she finished a pair of socks out of Cookie A's, a sock love, knit sock love.
Oh, I love that
and
part.
she's going to
replicate the crazy photography. I cannot wait.
Cookie A is a very like...
Do you have that book up here?
I don't. It's downstairs on my bookshelf. But her pictures are very sort of contemporary, like
artsy,
and
they have a very gothic feel to them. I would say.
So the images of a girl modeling the sock are like reclining in a tree.
Yeah.
Like it's a very
in a dress,
impractical but beautiful picture. And so Joanna wants to recreate
every single picture
in the book of her. And Joanna is a very practical and lovely person, and she's
a farmer.
She's not one for like fancy makeup and perfect hair and all that.
I cannot wait.
So it's going to be amazing. But I thought it might be fun to host something maybe next year where people recreate the picture.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Of whatever the pattern is on Ravelry.
So, like, Gwen, our friend who's an art conservationist, sent us pictures at Halloween of art, like, people who work in art museums.
They interpreted art.
Who interpret it
as a costume,
into a costume. And this would be an awesome, cool recreation. Like, did you see when Beyonce did her pregnancy picture of her, like, in the garden, and people recreated that like with what they had around the house? Like, that kind of stuff was really funny. Also, I spend too much time on Twitter.
This is possible. Social media in general.
Well, that's true.
But I thought it would be a brilliant idea to have people recreate.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I especially am looking, I want to see people, like a lot of the modeled photos that are trying to sell you on a pattern.
On a lifestyle that goes with that pattern.
Right. Are very simple backgrounds, thin, beautiful people frolicking in a field, right? I want to see a fat girl running through the field in her crazy colored sweater that almost looks nothing like the pattern. I think it's going to be amazing.
Socks, yeah.
So
that's a great idea. Thank you, Joanna, for us stealing.
We're totally stealing that.
For us stealing your amazingness.
So finished objects. Do you have anything?
I do. I have a hat. And I have socks. So I finished my Desert Vista Dye Works Your Mean One socks. They are Wendy Johnson's Toe Up Gusset socks. If you do not have her first book, you totally should get it. I hope it's still in print. It's like the book that I use the most out of any of my books. So these were finished right before.
I feel like your socks are always so much longer than mine. They're really not that much. Like,
are you talking about the cuff?
Yeah.
And these were shorter cuffs than usual.
Your cuffs
for me,
always
maybe.
seem like they're so much longer than mine, but they're really, like, mine's right there.
I usually do 5-inch cuffs.
I don't know. Maybe it's just perception.
I mean, I do 5-inch cuffs, but I always end it so that I begin the next, like, I end it with the last color. Does that make sense? Like, so that I'm ready to start the next one with that, because I don't like wasting yarn.
Because you're so close to running out.
Yeah, that determines my sock length. But also, like the Desert Vista ones, you have to do at least a 4-inch cuff. So
you have one more month of Desert Vista.
Yeah, this month I should pick out. So I posted a picture of 3 on Instagram that I'm thinking about, which is Grimm, Monopoly. These are all separate words. Grimm, comma, Monopoly, comma, and War of the Worlds. So I'm trying to decide which one I should do. Good. Monopoly is kind of rainbowy, which I love. Grimm is kind of like teals and pinks and browns, which also I love. And then War of the Worlds is very like fireplace. Yeah, you did. Bonfire-y.
I like that one.
That's a good one too. So, and every time I knit, like, so I got down to, I think I have 11 skeins left right now, so that'll take me down. No, I have 11 skeins left after this month, and then I'll get that free skein, and I'll be back up to 12. I cannot get down past 12. Oh, Susan. And then the other thing that I finished is a hat. Oh, your computer's warm. I'm just hang out here.
It's putting off heat down there.
I finished the Vermontier, because I tried another hat that was free on Ravelry.
Oh, the one with the twisted stitches?
No. It was like
no, because you finished that one.
So I knit the whole hat and I tried it on, and it didn't fit. And so I got engaged. I like remeasured twice, and so I looked at the hat pattern, and it was styled on an adult head, but it was 16 inches around.
Oh.
And with a super bulky, you don't get the amount of stretch and ease that you get with...
Because there's fewer stitches to stretch.
And actually, on the pattern, it said that it was 8 inches by 9. And I was like...
Oh, because they measured it flat.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not how we do circumference. So, it's the first time I've ever left a comment on a pattern.
Really?
And I thought I was pretty kind. I was just like, hey, here's the deal. This is my fault for not reading the finished size, because it totally was.
Well, but if it's modeled on an adult, that's kind of...
I also want to let you know that 8 inches is not the circumference, it's the flat measurement.
Yeah. And
you might want to think about that. So after that moment, I ripped it all out. It was also, this is knit on size 10s, 10 and a halves. And the other one was knit on size 15s.
Whoa.
And I went down to 13s because I am a loose knitter. But it was way, like, I could stick my entire finger through it.
Mm.
So this is my hat, and this is the crazy pom-pom that's going to go on the top. And I'm trying to decide if I want to give this to someone, or I have to do a a dirty Santa swap tomorrow.
Well, that'd be a great gift for that.
And I think it's got a $10 minimum, or $10 maximum. So that's the thing. It's got a $10 maximum.
They won't know, but...
And I don't want to seem like my work is worth $10, because it's not, because I'm amazing. And this is like $25 worth of yarn and a $10 pom-pom. But I also don't want to have to go run and buy something.
Yeah.
And this is the yarn that's been in my stash for a while. This is how it'll look when I attach that pom-pom. And I did do it a little bit more pointy because I wanted to use every last inch of the yarn, and I knew that a pom-pom was going on there anyway, so it didn't really matter. I did add an extra repeat as well because I wanted to give it a little bit more height because I like my hats to come down.
Slouch.
Not even slouch, but like go to the eyebrows.
Mm.
Like I like an eyebrow level hat that covers the ears, and this has been blocked, so it's a little bit bigger than it was when it first came off, and I do have a big bun in the back of my head, but I do like a little bit of slouch.
Eyebrow level is going to be the title of the episode.
That's fine.
Unless something funnier happens before we're done.
I don't know that that's going to happen. I bought this pom-pom on Etsy. It's okay. So I guess a lot of people are making faux fur pom-poms, and they're buying fur at like Joann's and stuffing it.
Oh.
So I've had like good pom-pom experiences and not so good pom-pom experiences. So let me feel it.
They're selling these as keychains at Michael's for like $4.
Yeah, so I think that is going to be the new well, there's some yarn stores that sell like the legit ones that and this is legit. Like, I mean, this one's nice.
It doesn't feel scratchy or anything. So.
But I got a giant pink one, and it's like a pillow.
Oh.
So I don't know that I can use that one, but this one's not bad. And I just randomly searched pom-poms on Etsy and purchased some because what was wrong with that plan? Like,
she was having a bad day or something.
No, I wanted pom-poms for my hats. Like, obviously, you don't buy this color pom-pom just for the hell of it. Like, there's a reason.
Maybe you don't.
There was a reason for this. Anyway, so that's, this is a really cool yarn. It's kind of similar to Madeline Tosh Rasta. Lemonade Shop also does a yarn that's
Madeline Tosh does not make Rasta.
No, it's Malabrigo.
Yeah.
Madeline Tosh does do a bulky, though.
They do. It's called...
Asp?
ASAP is not Asp.
Something like that.
I think... No, Home is the other one, and Home is discontinued, I think, but ASAP is not discontinued.
Okay.
But they introduce and kill lines all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So does Plucky. Plucky's terrible about that.
No, it's their stuff. So this is Spun Right Rounds, Big Red Bulky, and Glow Bug. I think I got it last year. There is a jog where the garter, but you know what? That's going to be the back, and it's going to be a dirty Santa present. Hopefully one of the men in my department doesn't get it. But if they do, oh well.
They can give it to their wife.
It can get stolen.
And say that they hand commissioned it.
There you go.
Lying. Solving problems. Since forever.
Those are the 2 items that I have finished.
Okay, solving problems since forever is now going to be the
Okay.
episode title. That's much better.
An eyebrow level?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any finished objects?
Heck yeah, I do.
You did? Oh, yeah. You finished a chubby thing, too.
I did.
At Metal and Tosh Home. Look at that. That's
did.
how you knew so much about that. Reading is fundamental. Not that y'all can see the show. Well, I guess you could if you were watching on the blog.
So the ends aren't woven in, though. Naughty me. So I bought at the Eat Sleep Knit Black Friday sale because I was completely convinced that I was going to get it free, because the way Eat Sleep Knit does their Black Friday sale is you put stuff in your cart, whatever,
And you check out.
And after you've placed the order, when it's too late,
They tell you what percent
you get
and
off.
it can be anywhere from 10%
to 100.
to 100. I got 15.
I got 10. Which, is still a discount.
It is
but
what it is.
I was so convinced I was going to get the free one. So this was in the order, and I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and knit it quickly because I love it.
Yeah,
So this
it's
is
pretty.
Madeline Tosh Home in the electric rainbow colorway. And it is...
It's got like some black undertones.
It does. It's got like light specks of black.
Yeah.
In the dye. So this is just called the Chubby Brioche hat.
Yeah. How did the decreases on that go for you? Did they work out well?
Yeah, I mean, they're fine. They're not super elegant.
I feel like I knit that out of hand spun last year, and I had to mess with the decreases.
Yeah, they're
but
not
she
super
has,
elegant.
Updated the pattern since I knit it, so
Oh, well.
you might have knit the updated version.
Maybe. I don't know. Oh, I've got a big bun on the top that I forgot about.
That's cute though.
So
Yeah, that's what I gave my swap partner at SKP, I think, out of hand spun.
biggie. It's big enough. It's eyebrow level.
Was it eyebrow level?
I look so much less feminine in a hat.
Well, because your hair is up too.
I don't know. I tried to even
And
it
you have
out,
like
and
a
I made
bun
it
in the
worse.
back of your head.
Yeah. So it's a nice, thick, beautimous hat.
This is cracking me up.
Yeah, that's a bun. Sorry.
That is a bun.
I'm not like super mutated or anything.
Well.
I didn't have time for hair today because I'm on call.
I had time for hair. This is the time of hair that I had. I did put on makeup today to go to my thing. I was gonna wear jeans, but also makeup.
Standards.
Yeah. I got slim.
So this didn't take very long. I've got a little bit left, so I'm gonna try to make a pom-pom.
Yes.
I don't know if I have enough, but I'm gonna try.
You should just use black with it. Use like a
I
worsted
could,
black.
yeah.
You totally should do that.
Yeah, that'll make it last longer. Like adding breadcrumbs to beef when you make a casserole
I will
or something.
totally take your word for that.
So I finished that, and I also pulled this out and grumbled and decided I was going to do all the fixins.
You did the elbow patches. Yay.
So this is...
I asked her earlier if she did it, and she said, you're going to have to watch to buy now.
I did that, which after I had showed her the cardigan and asked her to look at buttons. So she just didn't pay attention.
Well,
So
there is that option always.
this is the Grants cardigan by Tin Can Knits. It's knit out of 2 different colors of Volmiza DK.
Which is awesome.
It has tiny little pockets
You should knit a little mini mochi to go in the tiny little pockets.
and tiny little
elbow patches.
Let me tell you, how many ends do you think I had to weave in?
45.
Wow, that's more.
Go big or go home.
32. Now, 2 of those were because I had a knot and a skein.
Okay.
But even considering that, and this is just because of color changes and construction and the way that it worked, 30 ends to weave in with this pattern. Assuming that you go gung-ho and do
the little pockets.
the pockets, because
yeah.
there's 4 each on each pocket, and then there's 2 each on each patch. So that's 8, 10, that's 12 just for ends, just for the extras. I feel like I'm manhandling myself here.
I think manhandling myself should be the new title. I can't even remember the old title now.
Solving problems since forever.
Oh, that is a good one though.
So it's a super cute little cardigan. It's going to a friend who is having a little boy. And it's got a cute little shawl collar that
It
folds
does.
over.
It's adorable in so many ways.
It is the fussiest little baby thing I've ever made.
It's so cute, though.
And I better get a picture of the baby in it.
Otherwise, you're dead to her.
But
And your baby is, too.
I was weaving in ends while I was rewatching the Nadia season of Great British Bake Off, so...
Oh, Nadia.
Yeah.
I thought you said naughtiest, and I was like, there was a naughty season? What does one do in the naughty season of Great British Bake Off?
I need to watch that.
Oh.
No, so that's it. That's all of my crafting for the week.
I just had a mental image if drag queens did Great British Bake Off.
That would be amazing. I am fully behind that.
That would be amazing.
I also just started listening to the Drag Queen and Homo Jock King on audio.
Yeah.
TJ Kloon. So I'm all into drag queens at the moment. So,
what else are you doing?
You have spinning though.
Oh, I do have spinning. I
mean, I could skip you if you want,
well, there's that. I am spinning an advent calendar that I got from someplace in the UK. Black Sheep Fiber, maybe?
It was pretty inexpensive.
I can't remember because I bought it in like August. And then it arrived and I was like, oh yeah, I totally bought that. So it comes with little packages, and in each package there is a little creature, like a description of creature, and then a description of the fiber. So this is I'm gonna butcher it no matter how I say it. Nissa?
Nisse. I don't know.
It's from Nordic folklore, and they're kind of like brownies, and they're associated with winter.
Brownies, the little fairies, not brownies, the brownie, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Like
Not
brownies,
brownies, the food.
helpful.
Yeah.
So this was her Montgomery blend, which is Gotland, mohair, BFL, and silk. So I spun 10 ounces of that, and I got around 25 yards of a 2-ply. And what I'm doing is I'm spinning this all on one bobbin, and then I am doing an Andean ply around my wrist to ply it. And these have been soaked and thwacked. And I got through the first two before I got sick. And then the second blend is based off of Griffins, which is a hybrid of a lion and eagle, of course. Mm-hmm. And this is Dorset down wool. And I actually spun this one. So the other one was spun short forward draft. So a worsted draft. And this was spun woolen. So it's around 26 yards or 27 yards. It was fun to spin woolen. I'm spinning all of these on my ledrum upright. Because they have super small they have smaller bobbins, and it's a wheel that's empty right now.
Yeah.
And then the third day was Polworth, and I can't remember the magical creature. Oh yeah, I do. It's unicorn. So it's this like purple Polworth for unicorn. So I got through day 3 spinning the singles, but then I got sick and I just haven't gone back since then. I haven't opened my advent calendar since day 5 of anything. Like, I haven't opened any of them. So I do need to, and today's what, the 7th?
The 7th, correct.
Yeah, so I am behind on advent calendars, but that's okay. I can catch up with advent calendars. I'm also doing the David's Tea advent calendar, and being sick, I drank some of their cold 911 tea, which is eucalyptus and some other stuff. It was okay. It's not something that I would drink if I wasn't sick. I'll tell you that much. It's not like, let me try this again. No. And I put local honey in it. And then, but I haven't been in the mood to do, like, glittering gold tea is a black tea that was the next day. I haven't been in the mood for tea that's got sparkle in it, so.
Oh, it's got actual sparkle in it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
You should come over and have a cuppa.
I don't know if I can drink sparkle.
I think it dissolves.
I mean, I know there's like food edible because
yeah,
I've seen that on Great British Baking.
Sparkle, like it's little like things that you would decorate cupcakes with.
Yeah.
But it's not like the glitter is mixed in. It's like little stars that are gold and glittery. Oh no.
Okay.
So that is my very little bit of spinning. I'm hoping to spin Patreon this weekend, at least get started on it, because we have a December Patreon to do shortly.
What about reading?
So I read a bunch of good books really quickly. I had read the two that I talked about, Piecing, last week. I finished that and it was really, really good. And then, like, I've read so many good books back to back that I'm kind of like in this place with YA that, like, my expectations are really high because I've been really reading a lot of realistic fiction YA that's been really, really good, or kids books. So I started a fantasy one that was on some recommended list. It's Born Wicked by Jessica Spotswood. It's part of a series. It's got some, like, Beauty and the Beast elements to it. This girl's a witch. She's in this society where if you're a witch, you're taken away. There's a lot of witch hunts going on. And it's, like, a very male-run, dominated society, where when you turn, like, 17, you have the choice of getting married or basically going to the nunnery. And like, the men control the society through the exploitation of women. And there's a love triangle, because why would there not be a love triangle in such a lovely society? And I just wasn't in the right headspace for it. I think I was anticipating, because she, like, loves being out in the garden and there's this rose motif. I was like, and her father has to go away all the time. I was like, oh, it's totally going to be like a Beauty and the Beast setup, like, because those are elements at the beginning, and she's got two sisters who are also witches, and her mother is deceased, and there's this interfering neighbor who wants to marry her father, and so it's got all these elements of folklore in it, specifically Beauty and the Beast folklore, and I got 75% of the book done, and it did not happen, and then my loan ran out from the library, and I was like,
yeah, you're not sad about it.
Like, oh well.
Yeah.
Sorry I didn't turn on my airplane mode, but that was actually a choice. So, yeah, I was not super sad about that. It just, and the female protagonist is very, like, woe is me. I don't know what to do.
I can only put up with so much of that.
And it just was not a good book for me at the right time, especially right now. So, it's been abandoned. I wish Goodreads had, like, so you can mark stuff done in Goodreads. I want to mark, like, stuff abandoned, because I feel like that's a legit thing. Yeah. Like, as a reader, you have the right to abandon books, whether it's 5 pages in or 75% through the book.
Yeah.
Like, that is a choice that you can consciously make, and there's nothing wrong with that. I encourage abandonment of books that you dislike. But Goodreads doesn't have that option. I'm just going to mark it as finished, because why not? Yeah. And I'm just going to write in there why I abandoned it. Just like I did for y'all. So
I've been reading a series that you might like if you haven't read it already.
What is it?
It's called Cupcakes, Trinkets, and Other Deadly Magic. I'll pull up the picture. You might recognize it.
I have not read that. That looks like a cozy romance is what that looks like.
It's a 7-book series. And it's this girl who has no magical power, really, but she's in a magic family, but she really does have magic power. It's just one sort of, like,
so
hidden from her. And there's werewolves and there's vampires, but it's not super cliche. The lady runs a bakery, and there's moments where it's kind of a little Alana Andrews.
Is it a Kindle Unlimited?
No.
Okay.
The first book is 99 cents.
Okay.
And then the books after that, I think, are like $4. I'm on book 3. I just got book 3 last night. And it's still enjoyable. There's tension, but it's a slow burn for sure. Like, no sexy times have happened yet. Which isn't necessarily a terrible thing, but it's kept me interested. So I would recommend giving it a shot.
Yeah.
You know, it's not too heavy, but it's interesting. So I'm on book 3 of that, and then I'm flip-flopping on the audiobook, because I don't
know how you do that. I can't do that. With audiobooks, I can't.
I have to. If one of them's really heavy, I have to be able to flip-flop, because there are times when I'm in the car and I'm just driving to Walgreens and I don't have time to get into something super heavy, so I just need something funny.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious that you put stuff on for 5 minutes. I do not. I go 5 minutes to work every day.
No,
and I typically don't.
I like having something on.
But that's kind of like my meditation.
Your quiet time.
It's either my slow start time or my quiet daytime.
The third book of the the third book of the Way of Kings series.
Okay.
I can't
That's
remember Brandon Sanderson.
Yeah.
Each book is between 45 and 50 hours long, and the third one came out. The fourth one won't come out for several years probably, but I've completely forgotten everything that's happened.
Oh yeah.
So I'm re-listening to it, and it's a lot of, intricate world building, and it flip-flops between lots of characters, and it's good, but sometimes I'm not in the mood for it.
Sometimes I'm not in the mood for an epic fantasy.
Right. Sometimes you just want to laugh and giggle. And so that's
99%. But, when I was a teenager, I was all about, the Tad Williams, epic fantasy, Mercedes Lackey, epic fantasy building, keep up with 800 characters. Who else? I don't know. I read a lot of...
George R.R. Martin.
I did not. I read one Game of Thrones and I was done.
Tolkien, whatever.
Well, J.R. Tolkien.
Yeah.
So here's my problem with him. I like his stuff a lot. The Hobbit's one of my favorites, but because his characters have very similar names at times, and there's a lot of names
that have lots of consonants in them.
Yes. So the way I decode words, things you learn about yourself, is I decode, and I think most people do, especially names, based on the first 3 letters. And that's what sticks in my mind. If y'all haven't figured it out, sometimes I struggle with pronunciation and remembering words. But, it is what it is. But I remember, those first 3 letters, and that's how I decode stuff. But when all the characters have very similar names, I struggle with that.
And there's actually, but I've read a study where you can mix up all the letters of the word except the first and the last, and people can still get the gist of it.
Yeah.
But sometimes J.R. Tolkien, he creates names with 2 K's and 3 L's in them, and there's one vowel in there.
Yeah, mine's more they're starting with similar letters. Is when I struggle.
I don't like his writing style personally.
I like it. It's got some... I like epic... I like questing motif fantasies when I read fantasies, though.
So, aside from that, I'm listening to Tell Me It's Real, which is the second in a series by T.J. Klune, who did write me back. Thank you very much.
Did he?
Yes.
Aww.
I told him that I recommended his books to people on my knitting podcast, and I put, yes, that's a real thing. And he was like, I have never laughed so hard.
Aww.
So...
That's awesome.
He's a real person and he's nice. So
that's nice. I love it when authors are nice.
Yeah.
Not that authors need to be nice.
Yeah.
I can't demand.
And I don't expect him
nice.
to keep up an email response with me, but it was nice that he took the time.
That's really sweet.
Yeah. So that's it for me.
Okay. I have your Christmas present. Are you ready?
Hang on. So as far as favorite things, SSK Lottery is closed. We will do pulls hopefully this weekend. It's just been a crazy busy week. I was hoping to have it done by now, and it just didn't happen. So
we said we give people a week.
Yeah, so I've got it edited and formatted, so we just have to have the time to go through with the random number generator.
Also, if you're one of those people that keeps refreshing your email, I've read your comments on Ravelry. You need to stop. It will come when it comes. Yeah. Don't torture yourself. It'll be okay. Are you ready for your Christmas present?
Yes, I'm ready for my Christmas. Let me do this decrease real quick. Okay.
I got this from Threadless. Are you ready? Threadless is a t-shirt
company. Is it Labyrinth related?
No, it's not.
Is it Game of Thrones related?
No, it's red though. It says Bah Humbug.
That's epic.
I got one for you and one for me, so we can be twins.
That is amazing.
I'm wearing it to work tomorrow.
He looks so fancy.
Carol. It's Christmas Carol.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I just saw a fancy sheep in a top hat.
That's where Bah Humbug comes from, is Christmas Carol.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bah Humbug.
That is hilarious.
They came up and I was like, this is going to be the best $20 per t-shirt I've ever spent. Done. Oh, you want $20 shipping? Still done.
We're going to have to wear them on our Christmas episode.
Okay.
Whenever that is.
With our pajama pants?
Yes.
Okay. Well, apparently I bought us matching everything this year.
Okay with that.
That's not true. Your next Christmas present, I did not buy me matching things.
Thank you for my present.
You're welcome.
Your present, as always, will be a quilt that you'll get at some point.
I don't care. I love my quilts. They're the best. Tonight is gonna be super fun. Yeah. That's it.
You sound better than you sounded yesterday.
That's true.
Yesterday you sounded like you should have been in bed.
Yesterday it was like death becomes her. I got sent. There was an attempt to send me home from work twice yesterday, and I resisted.
We actually had a really good chats last night at Knit Night. So I'm glad that we were there, but you did.
Knit Night's hosted at my house. That's the thing that happens, which I love because I don't have to go anyways, and I can put on pajamas if I want.
Yeah,
and other people come and see me.
I was gonna say, I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't mind going to Laura's in pajamas. I probably
you can go to my house in pajamas anytime.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20,
that sounds
24. Oh, I'm not there yet.
So Leslie's husband was like, "We're gonna do this diet," and I was like, "I foresee Leslie living at my house in the future."
My husband's gone crazy. He's decided he wants to do the keto diet, which you know what? If that works for you, that's amazing. But in my experience, diets are a Band-Aid that doesn't really work.
Well, this is the man who asked her for a double chocolate cake the other day.
2 days before he decided the keto diet. And
eats ice cream when we hide it in the freezer.
And gets up in the middle of the night to have a bowl of cereal. Like...
And he eats cereal all the time. Like, he steals Leslie's cereal all the time.
And his job requires him to sit at a desk for 10 hours a day. It's not the food. It's that neither of us move enough. So,
yeah. So no carbs, no cereal would be...
For him. I'm a grown-ass woman. Yeah, today I think he had, like, tuna and nuts.
So he's legit doing it.
Apparently. I was like, whatever, I'm eating Cheerios.
I'll bring you bagels on Saturday. I don't know what to... We're super supportive, helpful people.
I mean, if it works for you, that's amazing. But, like...
Well, some people do it because of dietary restrictions,
right,
which is
because
totally legit.
Their body can't handle certain foods or whatever.
Yeah, that's totally
fine.
Legit.
But this is just, like, this is the first time that he's been uncomfortable with his weight, and he's almost 40. And I'm like, honey, I hit that at, like... I've been through this stage.
18. Actually, like, as a woman, like yeah, let's welcome to 13. Body issues? Oh, yes. Become a teenage girl.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But, alright, that's enough of our crap. You guys have
legit
a lovely couple days before we record again. This will give us a good excuse to record, like, on Tuesday.
Well, it's got to be Tuesday because I have soccer Monday.
Oh, that's right.
I get to stand outside in 34-degree weather.
So she'll be sick, so we'll record on Thursday again.
And watch children play soccer.
You guys have a lovely week, and we will talk to you again soon.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.